Welcome to the Moon Men podcast.
Does the moon actually possess such strange powers?
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Moonlight is thought to transform some people into strange creatures to drive others mad.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're certainly glad to be here tonight.
We choose to go to the moon.
5, 4,
We choose to go to the moon.
2, 1, 0.
So I heard a joke, or somebody told me this joke. I'm not gonna give them credit. How does a black woman know she's pregnant?
I don't know.
Because when she pulls out her tampon, the cotton is already picked.
That is so bad.
You know who you are. Who told me that?
You know who? I know exactly who it was.
Who was it? Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bleep that name out.
Cut that shit out.
Yeah, just cut it.
Yeah, he sent me some fucked up shit on Instagram too. I don't know what it is with you guys and like
Fucked
black
up shit?
baby jokes. Because it's always black baby jokes with you two. Like half the shit you send me, the ones that I know you're laughing at, are all like black baby jokes.
Don't say it like that.
No, they are. They are. I wanted to say it like that. I wanted to bring people's attention to it. Am I like, I feel like I'm going to be hunched over. Am I hunched over?
That's how I usually sit.
Yeah, but I'm not going to do that.
It's just going to come naturally because sitting up like that is going to suck.
You're going to suck. Hey. What the
You struggling there, bud?
It's just not. There we go. That works. If the mic is set high, then my back posture is good. Let's not get fucked up over here, right?
Get scoliosis.
That's fucked up. You can't get scoliosis, can you?
You're
You're diagnosed with it, aren't you?
It's like depression. You can't get depression. Or can you?
Yes, you can. Yeah, you can become depressed, especially after a hard loss. But you know what? It's fine. Because if you are depressed or you think you're depressed, then go to betterhelp.com and use code MOONMEN to save yourself 10% off at checkout.
Yeah.
That's code MOONMEN to save yourself 10% off your first month. Thank you again to BetterHelp for sponsoring the show.
Yeah,
Didn't even fuck it up.
Scoliosis can occur at any age, but most commonly it develops during adolescence.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess that makes sense. I'm sure like
anyone could get scoliosis. Yeah.
there's older people that developed scoliosis.
And that's because they're recording a 3-hour podcast while sitting on a bed, hunched over.
Yeah, I mean, should I stand? Should I do what you were doing that one episode and just stand?
It's weird. I'm gonna have. Well, if you stand, it's not like it's gonna change the height level.
You were gonna be like, I have to look up at you, and then you saw the opportunity. So I'll give you credit for that. But I said that shit earlier, so you can't take it from me.
No, you were sitting on a chair earlier.
Yeah, I know. That shit was so funny. She literally looked at me. She was like I saw it in her face, and then she hit it really well. That's why I was like, yep, don't get it twisted. I'm still short. The chair it's an illusion. It's the Twilight Zone. Welcome back to the Moon Men podcast, everybody. I'm your host, Evan. That's your co-host, Eddie.
Oh, I am not in frame. I have to sit closer over here.
I think you have to sit more over here. All right, am I in frame?
Yeah, we just
Like my whole ass back?
yeah, your back and your side profile.
What kind of angle is it shooting at?
It's you should know. I haven't moved the camera. There you go. Now you can see more of your face.
Does that look better?
Well, we're not gonna be looking at the camera while talking to each other like that.
See, as soon as we turn on the cameras, you get all fucking awkward. Where was the Eddie from last episode, man? That guy was down with the shits. It's not here, man. Like you said,
go
it's not.
find. Go.
It's
It's with the One Piece. Go find it. I don't know what to tell you, Devin.
Don't be insulting it like that, man. Don't be disrespecting.
What if I'm the One Piece? What if Luffy's been trying to look for me? You know what? When we were watching those clips of Luffy, he kind of looks like Gomez, Shark Boy. thank God I didn't want to record. I knew that was gonna fucking work. I knew that was gonna work. All right, I don't know what to do now. I really don't know.
Don't ever disrespect my boy like that again, Eddie. Don't ever do that shit.
Okay. He kind of does.
No.
Yeah, he does.
No.
Yeah.
No, it's not even a discussion. That's just the brain dead Eddie theory. Like you and your Nostradamus shit. It's just no, man. No.
Did you know that there's a new age Nostradamus? And
Who?
I don't know his name.
Oh.
Some foreigner. But he predicted that World War III was going to start yesterday.
Did it start yesterday?
I don't know. We're close to it.
We've been close to it for a little while.
We've been close to it for a while.
We've been close to it since the last one, you know. We've just been kind of waiting.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen soon. I think it's dumb every time people are like, oh, yeah, it's the end of the world. Or everything's coming to an end right now. I mean, we kind of feed into that a little bit sometimes when we're like, everything feels really fucked up. But aside from that, I don't think like we're going to get into a new world war tomorrow.
No, it's going to be soon. Because just last week, did you see about the selective services thing?
No, what's that?
So you don't know what the selective services is?
No.
So it's basically like if there's a draft, you're gonna get drafted no matter what. But
That's how drafts work.
I know, but the selective services is something that you're required to fill out, and if you don't, it's a felony. And everyone got it. We got it during high school. I know we did.
Did we?
Yeah. Because once you turn 18, they send you that, and you have to enlist in order to get selected for the draft.
I don't know why people get upset at that, though. You know, like drafts or the selected services thing. You know? Like, if your country needs you to fight, you should go fight, right? Like, that just seems like common sense.
Well,
we have a military that specializes in fighting, but that's what they do 90% of the time. If they're doing a draft, it's because they need extra people. And it doesn't help that the military isn't meeting their recruitment numbers year after year. It keeps going down and down.
Yeah, well, you didn't let me finish my point.
Sorry, go ahead.
So, with us, they changed it on Friday that once if you're from the ages of 18 to 26, you're automatically enlisted for the draft. You don't have to sign up. So, everyone's speculating that something bigger is coming since
2 more years, and then I'm free. I think it just makes sense, though. Honestly, like, okay, on the wait, on the subject. There we go. On the subject of drafts and shit, do you think it's wrong? What's your personal stance on it?
It's wrong when it's what kind. It's wrong when. Well, it depends on the kind of war. If it's a Hitler type war, then yes, I understand it. But if it's just bullshit, then no, it's bullshit.
Yeah, but that's why they don't do drafts all that often.
They've done 6, and the last time they did was during Vietnam.
Exactly. They don't do it that often. Yeah. 6 throughout our entire history is not that much because technically they could do it every time they get into a conflict. You know? But I think it's necessary in a sense. Like it makes sense to me, you know? Like I think about it more from like an ancient civilization perspective, like ancient Rome. Mm-hmm. Like if your city's getting invaded or something, right? And they like all the soldiers are going down, it's going to be up to the people who are there. Like you're going to pick up a sword and you're going to fight to protect your home, right? It's the same situation. We're not getting invaded, but it's a situation where we need you to go and fight for your home. And people get upset over it.
Because I understand both sides of it. I can see why people get pissed off, and I could see people from your point of view. What the people who get pissed off about that is the people who aren't fighting, they're just benefiting from it. Like the higher ups, the rich people, they're benefiting from it. They're benefiting from your death because of the war.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
So
too.
why are you gonna go fight a war when those people are benefiting?
Because it's not for those people. The people benefit no matter what, whether you fight or you don't fight, right? But it's not for them. It's for everybody else who can't fight. Because I'm sure there's a huge majority of the population who are unable to fight, that if they were in their youth or they were able-bodied, they would go and fight in a moment's notice because they want to protect what we have. And that's the thing that I think, especially in our generation, they don't realize, is that like we have something very special that's not very commonplace. It's starting to be, there's starting to be a lot more countries that are taking after us, but we were the foundation of that, and it was threatened multiple times. A lot of people laid down their lives to have what we have, and like we just kind of overlook it. I don't know how many people I talk to that are like my age who say, oh yeah, fuck this country, especially like my brother, for example. It's like, fuck this country, am I gonna go fight for this country, right? But again, like we said before, you live in a country where you're able to say that.
Yeah, but there's plenty of other countries where you can say that.
You know what I mean, though? There's a lot of countries that have it way worse than us. There's a lot of countries who, even though our economy is not the greatest right now, there's a lot of other countries that have it way worse, that have to slave away day after day to have what we have.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's searching for the American dream. Every country's trying to be like us, in a sense. And the ones that are closest to us are still trying to be like us. And it's like, we should be willing to fight to protect what we have, but a lot of people don't. Yeah. And then I think about the people that would fight if they could, and that it like motivates me, Like, yeah, it's scary. I don't want to go to war and die. But at the same time, like, I'm in a position where I can do that so that somebody else doesn't have to. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm young, I'm able-bodied, I don't have any mental or physical defects with me, right? So it should be up to me. We shouldn't have to rely on people that have mental or physical defects to have to go and fight for us because we're scared.
Well, they could change the age. They could be, all right, everyone under 64, go fight.
You know what I mean? It could be worse too. I think it's just, I don't know. To me, it just seems like common sense in a sense.
To me, it's common sense, but it's also you're fighting for a not facade, but like I guess it is a facade. Like, that whole American dream is kind of dead.
Not really. The whole American dream is being able to make a life for yourself.
Yeah, but you can't make a life for yourself when the country you move to is slowly going down. When was the last time it was high? It's been a very long time since it was high.
I think the last time it was high was like 2012.
That was after the depression, not the Great
Recession.
The recession.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was after the recession.
After the recession, we saw peaks in the economy, but that's what everybody refers to as, like, they always point to the economy, right? Well, the economy is in a bad spot, so how is the American dream alive? It's not just capitalism. It's not just us being able to make fortunes. It's the fact that we live in a country where we're completely free to do anything, to an extent, right? Like, if you want to become a professional painter, you can do that. If you want to become a streamer, you can do that. If you want to start your own business, you can do that.
Yeah, but the whole point of that was that we were the only ones. We're not the only ones anymore.
It's not the fact that we were the only ones. I think we were the only ones to do it at the time, and that's what made it even more special. But now it's becoming commonplace, which is a good thing. But there's still something unique about it being with America. That's why so many immigrants came to our country from all of these other countries to settle here. That's why people are still fighting on the border of Mexico to get here. That's why we still see migrants coming in every single year. That could be part of the reason why the economy is starting to get shaky, but it's the fact that everybody wants to be here. Our culture influences the rest of the world.
Yeah. Like I said, there's two sides to it. And
Like, I think it's funny that people are willing to risk their lives to come here, whether it be from Mexico or other countries or whatever. China.
There's that there's less and less Mexicans wanting to jump over. It's a bunch of Chinese people. That sounds racist, but there's a bunch of Chinese.
It's not racist.
There's a bunch of Chinese, Middle Easterns. There's a bunch of everyone else except the ones who are closest to us.
No, there's still
No,
thousands, hundreds of thousands. There's a lot of. It's decreasing because the Border Patrol's been on top of it more because of the drug problems.
They're not.
They are. They're on top of it mainly because of the drug problems, like the big fentanyl problem and opioid problem that we have right now.
That scared you, huh?
Yeah, that we have right now. A big part of the reason why we have it is because of the Mexican cartels smuggling the drugs into.
Right,
the
but
United
don't you
States.
remember when
It smells good.
when Biden said just knock the walls down?
Yeah, he's a dipshit for that. But the point is, we've always had strong border patrols, right? We've always been really secure with our borders, and even more so now. I mean, there's been increases in the amount of staff that they're hiring over there. I'm not going to say that I know everything about the Border Patrol, but I know they're doubling down on their efforts over there, and that could be a reason why we're seeing less, but that doesn't affect the demand of people who are trying to get in. And that's why we see it in these other countries, the Middle Eastern countries and the Asian countries. Like, there are people who are trying to get here, people who are willing to risk their life to get here, but our own residents aren't willing to because they got so used to the freedom that they were given at birth that now they don't know what to do with it, you know?
I think it's because also we just live in a new era.
I think there's a lot of factors. Like, one, I think we're a little too far removed for the most part, because there are certain people that are outliers, but we're too far removed to remember like how many people came to this country to start a new life and set up what we have now. You know, whether they be like Irish immigrants or Chinese immigrants or Mexican immigrants. So we're a little too far removed to remember why our ancestors wanted us to live here, what they saw in this country, which we don't see ourselves nowadays. And it's the fact that with all the freedom that we've had and not really capitalizing on it for the most part, we've just become kind of conformed in our society. Like, we're just kind of lazy right now, and we don't really like feel like putting up a fight.
I think,
and it's the fact that we have unrest in our country that's making everybody like, you know what, fuck that person and fuck this group of people and fuck this and fuck that, and the economy's fucked up and blah blah blah, and all of it's kind of bringing down our patriotism a little bit, you know?
Yeah, but because I think more and more people are starting to open their eyes and realize that it's been a lie for a long time. Like, it started off great and it started off nice, but then the wrong people started to get power, and it started getting more corrupt and more corrupt and more corrupt, that at this point they don't want to fight for a lie. They want to fight for what it once was. So like, if there was a draft right now, you're fighting for a lie. You're fighting for the wrong people. You're fighting for the people who can't fight, right? But what about the millions of other people who got drafted? They got drafted forcefully. They didn't want to do it. And
no, but that to me, it just, like I said, it's like common sense. Like, you should defend your home. And even if you think that it's all a lie or this and that, like, most of these people, like, you're free to move out of the country. Like, you live in a country where you could do that. Are they gonna do it? No. Then they'll probably blame it on the economy or this or that. But the fact is, like, if you really don't like it here, you can leave at any point. Again, you live in a country that allows you to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then they're the same people that'll complain when they have to go and fight a war that they don't want to be in. But it's like, where's the sense of patriotism? You know? Like, that's your home and they're threatening it. Like, what would it look like if there was another government in charge? Like, yeah, our government's corrupt. All governments are corrupt. We're not perfect. But I can't say that we'd be any better off with the Chinese government looking over us.
No,
Or
but
an Israeli government or whatever, a Russian government. Like,
no, but I think now, especially, the governments aren't running it; it's the companies who are running it.
no, the companies have a big part in every single government. But the actual, like, doctrines and laws and bills that get passed and all of the rules that get passed ultimately come through the government. The corporations might have a hand in what they're saying and what they're doing at any given moment, but it's the government that gets the final say. They can be bought out. But, like, I don't know. I can't say for sure that we'd be any better off with any other government. And frankly, despite it being like a state of turmoil in our country right now, for the most part, I really enjoy being able to live here. I'm super grateful and appreciative that I was born in this state, in this country, and I'm able to do all the things that I'm doing. You know, I'm very appreciative for all of the military personnel that are currently serving and have served and laid down their lives so that we can have what we have now. Because there's also that. There's also the fact that hundreds of thousands of individuals have laid down their life for what we have right now. Right? And even if it's not at the state where we want it to be, or it could be better, that doesn't take away from their sacrifice. And we should honor that sacrifice. And another way we could honor it is also trying to fix what's wrong with it. Are we going to do that? No. Society right now doesn't really feel like doing that. They'd rather fight amongst themselves over the smallest things.
But what if they take that freedom away? What if the people who died for what we have gets all taken away? And it becomes a tyrannical government.
Then at that point, it's also our job to honor their sacrifice and fight our own government, even like civil war, to uphold the values that those people laid down their lives for.
No. Well, you didn't let me finish my point.
I thought you were.
No. So, and it becomes all that. And they still say, all right, you have to go fight for us. Are you going to go fight the World War, or are you going to fight the Civil War?
But again, that's more of an extreme example.
I know, but I'm giving you a scenario.
In that scenario, I'd probably fight the Civil War, just depending on what, if they became a tyrannical government, yeah, Civil War.
But
right?
then the people who are the new government is gonna come in and run shit. I don't know. Like,
my point is, we're not at that point yet. The
Right.
government and this country that we have right now is great, and people don't appreciate it, right? It's like, my family always says this. We have a running joke in our family where it's like, we're spoiled. Right now, as a country, we're so spoiled that we don't even realize it. And now we're getting to a point where we have all of these bratty kids, these millions of bratty kids, questioning things that they have very little understanding of. Like, it's funny that you can run into a person on the street who's legally allowed to vote and ask them what they think of the government, and then they'll shit on it, say that it's all corrupt, the economy's fucked up, whatever, and then in the same breath not be able to name at least 5 presidents. You know, they're not caught up in what's actually going on with the government and how they're actually maneuvering. They're just caught up in the big headlines. You know, it's like a lot of us have a misconstrued understanding of how the government functions, what they're actually doing. I'm not going to say they're perfect, but at the same time, they're not evil, right? Unless you believe the conspiracy theories, but they're not evil. They're not going out of their way to make our lives any harder than they already are. Yeah, you could say they tax us. Yeah, you could say they ask us to go and participate in the draft and shit like that. Sure, but most governments have that. We're just one of the few countries that, like, bitch about it. Like in Austria, it's mandated that every single citizen serve in the military for at least 2 years once they turn 18. So then you do your 2-year tenure, right? And then at that point, you can decide to stay with the government or go do whatever the hell you want, right? Austria is cool like that because every person gets that experience of working with the military and the government. So when they have political views about the government or the military, they're coming from a place of knowledge and understanding what they witnessed firsthand. Most of us have never even touched a gun or even been near anything remotely political, or military or government, anything, right? Not even remotely associated with it. And all of us are the same ones to be like, fuck the government. It's like, running a government is extremely hard. That's why we have all these different branches of it and all these branches that are checking these other branches. And yeah, it's always a fight for power, but it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect, right? But that doesn't mean that we shouldn't fight so that we can at least try to make it perfect, because if we don't fight, then we lose the right, because then another country could come in, take it over, and change it to how they want it. Like if there was a day where we got invaded by Russia and then Russia took over the United States, should that ever happen, our lives would look so completely different. Same for China or North Korea. You know, there's so many different things that people don't consider about it. And they're so spoiled that they can't look at it from that perspective. They're just looking at it like, well, I'm not making enough money and the government's taking money and the government's not using it properly. Sure. But I mean, the government's the government. And at the end of the day, they're doing things that they think will benefit us as a nation.
No, I think they're just benefiting themselves.
They're benefiting themselves, yeah, but like,
because they're not the
has there been any specific thing that the government has done that completely fucked everybody else in the entire nation and only benefited them? Like, we didn't get no benefits from it whatsoever.
There probably is, but I can't think of it.
I mean, I can't either, to be completely honest.
It's probably going on right now, but we just don't know.
It's just like
we're not that informed.
We don't
really care about that.
We're not living with the government that's going out of their way to completely harm us at every point. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to do half the stuff that we get to do in our country. Like, they would have shut that shit down years ago. They would have like, even the simple fact that we still get to vote, people are going to say it's rigged and it's corrupt or whatever, but the fact that they allow us to vote is huge, you know? Because until we started it, that wasn't really a thing. They would just say, hey, here's your new president. We don't care if you like him. We don't care if he's going to be a complete asshole for the next 30 years. This is who you got. This is your new leader.
Do you think there's ever going to be a time where they take away voting?
Mm-mm.
Because to this point, I personally think that the votes, like our votes, don't count. They just do it just to feel, so you could feel important.
I definitely think it counts.
No, it counts when it comes to small shit, but to choose a president, I don't think it counts.
Okay, let's look at it like this then, right? If it didn't count, Obama wouldn't have got presidency.
Okay.
If it didn't count, he wouldn't have gotten presidency, and neither would have Donald Trump.
Donald Trump, yeah.
No, Donald Trump, no, because I think people in the government at that time were looking at him like, this is just a billionaire.
But that's the point. Money talks. So
money talks, but Donald Trump was a billionaire, but not a billionaire that could fucking fund the government.
No, but he had all these companies backing him.
Yeah, but if you're looking at it from a government perspective, right, where they're like, who's gonna rule us, who's gonna be the best leader, they wouldn't have chose Donald Trump. If anything, he would have been a guy in the background puppeteering things, right? And if votes didn't count, Joe Biden wouldn't have got it either, because all of the Trump supporters and everybody that learned to like Trump after the fact, right, especially those in the government, wouldn't have let him get it. Like,
no, the
last 4 or 5 presidencies were all kind of controversial presidencies for the most part. And if somebody was really controlling it, or our votes didn't matter, it wouldn't have happened like that. They would have just chose the safest bet.
And I think they did.
To keep us unaware. But Obama's the best example, right? It's commonly talked about, especially in the black community, that when Obama was becoming president, hundreds of thousands of black men and women went to go vote. And there's a running gag in their community where, like, they didn't even care about politics. They just wanted a black president.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've met people that reference that joke. And for the most part, from what I've seen, a lot of them kind of stand by that. They're like, oh yeah, we didn't really care. We just wanted a black president. But that wouldn't have happened if our votes didn't count, because 2 billion black people could have went to go vote for him, and then he wouldn't have got it. Right?
Okay, recently, up to recently, it hasn't. I don't think it's counted.
I think it's counted,
because
especially when it came to Joe Biden, because like there was a lot of people that wanted him just because they didn't want Trump, and so you got an influx of people who are voting for him just because of that. But then you had the huge majority of Trump supporters, right? And either way, our votes counted. If you think about it, all of the people that didn't like Trump, who were going to vote just so that Trump wasn't back in office, right? A lot of the left-wing people, and then all of the right-wing people who have been supporting Trump and love what he does, that went to go vote to make sure he stayed back in office.
No, but I say that because now Biden, he's just a puppet. He's not running he's saying whatever they're telling him to say. So I feel like up to recently, the votes haven't counted.
I think he's definitely
because he
kind of a puppet, yeah.
Because have you seen the videos of him freezing? Like, he'll be talking, he'll be like...
Well, I mean, he is fucking old.
He is old. So that's what I'm saying. I feel like up to recent... They just wanted to get Trump out of office. And now they're trying the hardest for him not to be president again. But it looks like it's going to pan out that way.
I don't think they were trying to get Trump out of office. I know a lot of people say that online, but despite him being a controversial president, there was a lot of things that he did, like from a government perspective, that were good. Like establishing relations with Russia so that we could be on good terms. That's a major one. Right? Establishing relations with North Korea so that we could be on good terms. And also with China, who was his biggest adversary. Right? He was being diplomatic in a sense with all of our biggest enemies, right? And from a government perspective, they're looking at that like, okay, that's good. We don't have to worry about trying to finance a war right now and killing off a bunch of our own civilians, especially when we don't have that many soldiers to work with, right? So I can't see a situation, regardless of the controversy surrounding him, where they're like, all right, let's get the guy who's going out of his way to make sure that we don't get into any wars out of office, and then let's put the puppet in here.
Well, it's because they were losing money. That's why. Like I said, wars
generate a fuck ton of money.
Yeah, so that's why. Haven't you ever noticed every Democrat goes to war?
No.
Obama went to war.
The war was already started, and he came
into
office
went to war.
And ended it. Clinton went to war, yeah. But, I mean, what were you supposed to do when they attacked us?
That was Bush.
Oh, no, yeah, that was Bush. Didn't he ignite the war? He started it.
Well, what was Bush, a Republican?
I'm pretty sure Bush was Republican.
Was he?
Yeah. Are you checking?
Yeah, I'm gonna check.
And he started it after 9/11.
Yeah, because the whole it's gonna come.
Unless you're talking about the Gulf War, because I forgot how the Gulf War started.
No, I think that was who was before Clinton.
You mean Bush?
Because the Gulf War.
Who the hell was before Bush? Oh my God.
Was Clinton.
It was Clinton, then Bush,
then Obama. But before Clinton, who was it? Because the Gulf War happened during Clinton's administration.
Wasn't it at the tail end of his administration, and then Bush took over?
Oh yeah, he was Republican. Yeah, but Bush was Republican.
I don't think every Democrat goes to war, and I don't even think like you could even look at it like that. Even if it was all Democrats that did go to war, you know, even then, a lot of it just happens to be circumstantial. Like the United States isn't really one to pick wars, unless it's with the UK. Boom, boom. Sorry.
Well, no,
but
because it all comes down to conspiracies of why we go to war, and it's mainly because of oil. A couple years ago, they found like titanium or this certain type, this really rare element in Mexico, and they wanted to go to war with the cartel because they were labeling them as terrorists. But then Elon Musk stepped in. He's like, no, I'm going to take that. So we never went to war with Mexico because of that.
I think that's definitely a part of it.
And then with the
yeah.
Middle East, they found oil, so that's why we went to that war.
I think I think that's definitely a part of it. Wars always start for one reason or another. It doesn't necessarily mean that we have to get attacked, but for the most part, we don't really initiate huge scale wars until there's like an offense on our end.
No, but what I'm trying to say is, after Biden became president, that's when the Ukrainian war happened, and that's when the Israel war happened.
But we're not part of that.
Yes, we are to an extent.
So yeah, we're supplying troops to them, but we're not actively taking part in the war.
No, but we're benefiting somehow because we're aiding. Did you hear that?
I heard that.
We're aiding them.
Wasn't that the little girl scream we heard last time too?
No, it was a beep.
No, I heard a scream like a eep.
That was a beep. It was like a beep. It's not like from over there. I don't know what it was. But all these wars happen, and we have our foot in, and somehow we're benefiting from it.
How are we benefiting from the Ukrainian war?
Because we're supplying them with weapons and all this other stuff, but I can't remember how we're benefiting from it.
I don't think we're getting anything out of it, because the common complaint I always hear is the fact that our national debt is going up because we're participating in a war that doesn't involve us.
It's probably somehow like in between the lines, or it's in the fine text.
If anything, I think it's just like, once we know that this place is secure, then we can start getting stuff out of it, right? Because they're our allies. So if our allied country is holding down this country, then we can send people there to set up a camp, and then we can have, companies there to get resources from that place.
I think we already have. I think there's already troops there, but they're just not in the war.
I think, but that's just like, it sounds fucked up, but that's just good strategizing, right? Like if you were a country and you're like, hey, my friend is getting attacked, and if my friend gets attacked, I can't get oil from his place no more. You're going to protect your friend, one, because he's your friend, but also because you need the oil from his place.
Yeah, but we weren't getting oil from Ukraine.
I'm not saying we're getting oil from
I know,
but that's my point, right?
We have to be more educated to know what the hell we're talking about. We're just kind of speculating on what's going on. But like, I feel like after these wars end, that's when we're gonna see the truth. Like with the Afghanistan war, or with the Middle Eastern war in general, we're starting to realize that was all because of oil. The Gulf War, I don't know what the hell that was about.
Me neither. I gotta educate on the Gulf War.
Good thing Black Ops is gonna talk about that, right?
Yeah, I know. Then we'll get our history.
Yeah, but we're soon gonna realize we benefited out of it to some degree, whether it was minor or major.
But that's the thing, is like, it's strategizing. It's like Civilization, that game, Sid Meier's Civilization, on a large scale. You're strategizing to take care of your country and its people. And even if it means having to participate in these smaller wars that necessarily don't really involve us until they do, if you're benefiting from it and your allies are benefiting from it, it doesn't make sense to not participate. That doesn't mean I agree with it. I'm just saying I understand the perspective that they're coming from, and to say that we're benefiting from it, so we shouldn't do it, it just seems wrong.
Well, since we're such a powerful country, it just risks. We're more at risk at going to world war. Yeah.
But that's the thing with all wars throughout history. There's always been a reason, whether it was because they got attacked, or because they wanted the land, or because they wanted the resources from the land.
Yeah, but it's always been like, oh, it's these 5-year-olds fighting each other, and then here comes a 10-year-old, so the other 10-year-old's gonna come. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's at a different point now, but.
So they were equally matched, and then somehow the U.S. wanted to get involved. So if they get involved, that means the other powerful country has to get involved. And if those two collide, then it's over.
It's not necessarily over. I don't think they're gonna go full nuke right away, because everybody knows.
Putin said if the U.S. gets involved in any way, I'm gonna send nukes. He doesn't care. He's too prideful.
So we're not involved with those wars.
I think his thing is, as long as there's no U.S. involvement, like troops or anything other than that, he won't send nukes. But the moment he sees a U.S. soldier or U.S. troops fighting alongside Ukrainian soldiers, then he's just gonna send nukes. Because he knows that if the U.S. steps in, they're already kind of losing the war. They've been losing the war. And he knows that if the U.S. steps in, it's definitely over for them. So he's might as well just gonna send the nukes. Because he'll have his back up against the wall, and he's just gonna bring out the big guns.
I don't even really know what to say to that, to be honest.
So we're walking on a thin line with these wars that, in the first place, we kind of shouldn't have gotten involved.
I'm defending the understanding of it, but I still am of the mindset that we don't need to be participating in that conflict whatsoever.
Well,
and it's weird that as a country, we care about it.
I kind of do, and I don't.
Motherfucker, what? You gotta make up your mind.
No, because I'm playing devil's advocate here.
Yeah, a little too well, because I don't know which side to jump on, you know?
Well,
I'm trying to argue against devil's advocate, and then you bring out
because
rationality, and so then I'm like, okay, let's go rationality, and then you go back to devil's advocate. Like, I can't keep up, Eddie. You're switching sides too much,
Okay,
man.
think of it like this. Like, let's say the U.S. never got involved with none of these wars, right?
Yeah.
Russia takes over Ukraine. China takes over Taiwan. China takes over South Korea. It's just going to be less and less help until the whole world is going to come against us. And it's, so we had.
So okay, I can see you playing fucking devil's advocate.
So we had, in a way, we had to get involved to have them. If they win, we know that if we get invaded, we could count on them to help us.
So then, what the hell was the whole argument about you going? But why are we getting involved if we're playing a dangerous game and we're just benefiting from it? It's like I was trying to say earlier, it's a fucking complex board game with all of these moving pieces, and there's multiple reasons why we do or don't get involved with any conflict, right? And for the most part, we try to stick to ourselves. And the only time we've got involved with serious conflicts is because of direct threats to us or our country.
But I just think it's too the truth is too hidden, or the actual truth is too hidden, because
it doesn't matter what the truth is. The point is, like,
because an American could dress up as the bad guy and say we're gonna attack your country, but the actual bad guys never said that, so we're painting them as the villains when they never. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. They talked about that on One Piece. Yeah,
so like they say Osama bin Laden was an FBI informant or FBI agent, and the government just hired him to say that or whatever, so we could go to war in the Middle East and get the oil.
But at that point, that's just too conspiracy theories, right? I can understand where they're coming from, right? I can get where they're getting at. But it's weird that we've gotten to such a point of distrust with our own government that now we have to justify, like, we have to paint ourselves as the bad guy for every single encounter.
To a degree, yes, because like I said, the wrong people got in power, and that's why we got so much distrust. That's why we don't really trust the government anymore, because the wrong people got in office. So at any point, we don't know if it's the right person or if it's the wrong person.
But it's so weird because everybody that says they don't trust the government isn't going off of facts. They're going off of speculation, conspiracy theories. I don't trust the government. Why? What did the government do? Well, did you know that Osama bin Laden was an FBI informant? Is that confirmed? No, but like it makes sense because then we got oil.
But
okay.
But later on, it's gonna get revealed. So,
but what's been revealed, like actually revealed, that the government's gone out of their way, like aside from programs like MK Ultra, which has been revealed, or the fact that they were hiding their knowledge of like UFOs and alien interactions. Aside from shit like that, which kind of makes sense for them to hold back, especially at the time when they found the information. Like, imagine telling 1950s America there's aliens. Holy fuck, right? But aside from shit like that, there hasn't been anything that's been revealed that shows our government actively working against us. Or doing things that they know will solely benefit them. And let's just say we did invade countries for oil, for example, right? Like the Middle East, right? Let's just say they did that. Everyone's like, boo, that's bad. Okay, but that was part of the reason why you guys had cheap oil for such a long time. So, do you want to pay $6 a gallon for your gas? Or do you want cheaper oil? People don't think about that. They're just like, that's bad. The government shouldn't have did that. And it's like, yeah, but if they did do that, that's why you have your life the way it is. So at the end of the day, it still ties back into how they're trying to protect us. Yeah, they benefited from it. They got a little bit richer from it, right? But at their point, at the level of rich that they are, it's just fucking pennies to them. They're not getting anything substantial.
Yeah, but if let's say it was true, right? Are you still gonna call us the good guys?
I'm not even gonna say that we're the good guys right now. But the point is, we're the guys. We're us.
No,
right? We had to defend us. That was my whole point, is the fact that we have to defend us and our home. And it doesn't matter if you think we're the good guys or that the bad guys. Like, if you're living in our home and you're benefiting from us, like, rationality would say that you would stand to fight and protect it. And if you don't like us and you don't like the way that things are running, then why are you still here benefiting from us and complaining as you're benefiting?
So what I got from your answer is yes, we're the bad guys.
I don't think we're the bad guys.
So
no.
Because the way
I see the devil's advocate in you coming out. Like, I can see the horns growing every time you're about to start your shit.
Because I consider us the bad guys.
You consider us the bad guys? How?
Because we just killed millions of people just so we could get some cheap oil. Kind of bullshit is that? Sure, we're looking out for us, but because of that, we're everybody's target number one.
Okay, so if we look at it from the perspective of, yes, we are the bad guys, what do you do with that information?
To be completely honest, I don't know.
But, I mean, let's just go down paths here, right?
Right.
Path number one would be, you know what? I don't like the way this country's moving and operating. I'm leaving. Path number two would be like, well, I don't like it, but I'm going to stay here because this is what I know and this is what I'm comfortable with. And path three is just like, I don't care.
Because, one, we could move, but let's say every country's against us. Where are you going to move to? No one's going to accept you.
What do you mean? It doesn't matter about being accepted. You don't stand for what the United States is doing or representing, so you left and you tell everybody that, right?
Yeah, but that's what happened with all these Germans and all these Muslims. They got they got killed just because they're from that place. So imagine if we're target number one and we go to fucking Canada, we're gonna get killed there too. So
no, we're pretty cool with Canada.
No, but I'm in this outlandish scenario, it's us against the world.
Yeah. So
at that point, what's the point of leaving? You're just gonna get killed. Second thing is, you stay here, they're still gonna paint you as you're part of the bad guys. And then third, at that point, you just don't care. You're forced not to care. So it's either, I think at that point you're just gonna have to fight the government, just so the right people could get in power.
So you start a
revolution.
Revolution. I was gonna say rebellion, but I don't know which one.
It's the same thing.
Right.
Rebellion.
Same thing, yeah.
Rebellion just sounds better. It sounds cooler.
Rebellion, yeah, because you're a rebel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So at that point, you just kind of have to stand up. You're forced to go to civil war.
But see, that's the thing. Like, if all of these people who have these sentiments and who believe that we're the worst country on earth, our government sucks, why aren't they rebelling? You know? If they all truly believe that, they're like, the United States is bad, this place sucks, why aren't you guys doing something about it? Because if anything, you're just chirping away everybody's ears, right? Mm-hmm. For no fucking reason. You're wasting everybody's goddamn time. If you realize that there's something wrong, then you have the responsibility to try and change that thing. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. Is my whole point. Like, if you really truly believe that the United States is bad or that something should change, then why don't you use the systems that we created to then make your voice heard and inspire change? Because again, we live in a country where you can do that. And you're going to say all the tables are against you, right? But you're still on the fucking table. You still get to play the game.
I think people have and they've died. Look at JFK. Look at MLK. Look at who else? Many people. Person
only dies when they're forgotten, and their ideals can live on through other people. But I'm looking at our generation, right? If we're the generation of unpatriotic beliefs and conspiracy theories and speculation,
right,
then why aren't we the ones standing up to try to fix it? Because as an individual, you're powerless, but together, blah blah blah, you're like a team, you're powerful. But
I think it's a long game. I think we just have to wait.
It's a long game, but nobody's playing it and everybody's commenting on it.
No, I think there are people out there. They're just not getting the light because
they're not getting the light. No,
because everyone's focused on the negative. Just like now, no one talks about the firefighter that saved the cat from the tree. They're talking about the two guys who decided to kill each other. Or that guy who raped a little girl.
You're so good at playing devil's advocate, and I fucking hate it. Like, I honestly hate the way you do it.
I should be a lawyer, right?
Yeah, you should be a lawyer. You should go to law school. That's what you should do. Fucking take the bar exam and shit.
It's like I said, they're.
You make me lose my points. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
My point is, like, everybody is all willing to jump on the fucking bandwagon, the fucking hype train, and say the United States is bad. Like you said, they're focused on the negative, but they're also not focused on the things that the United States does to protect them and give them good lives, right? So they're so focused on the bad, and if they truly believe that it's bad, then why aren't they standing up and doing something about it? Instead, they sit there, they bitch, and they complain, they say the government sucks, they hold unpatriotic beliefs, and it spreads to our entire generation while they're still benefiting from the country that they live in. Like, they're complaining about the people giving them food as they're eating. And it's like, you don't bite the hand that feeds you. And if you truly have an issue with that, with our government and the everything surrounding it,
right,
then why aren't you guys fixing it? Right? If it's so bad, if our government's fucked up and corrupt,
that scared me.
Like, there you go. Here are the reins.
Like I said, there's definitely people out there. There's definitely people out there. But it's just the loud minority who are gonna manipulate everybody into thinking that the government's bad. And as long as they don't vocalize them as let's change, nothing's gonna change. It's gonna be the quiet minority and the people who don't get credit that are actually changing something.
I know, and they're the ones already doing it. They're not the ones going out there saying fuck the fucking government. They're working on changing the government.
Well, they say fuck the government, but they're changing the
I don't think they say fuck the government. They go, hey, let's fix this, right? Those are the people that are like climbing the ranks right now in politics to try to make the United States better.
Right.
But they don't even get an opportunity to do that if every person that's living here is like, fuck the government, fuck politics. So, because by the time they get into a position of authority where they're able to do something, then everybody's going to be like, fuck you too.
Well, again, it's a big ass circle.
It's just a bunch of negativity and people are all focused on the wrong shit is what I'm saying. It's
an engine. And I feel like there's a lot of small parts that play into wanting to get into power. Because if you want to be, let's say, Devin, you want to be president, right? But then Coke is all like, Devin, we'll endorse you, but you can't tax us. You can't. You have to let us do whatever we want. We could put chemicals in our sodas, but we'll give you $1 billion and you'll instantly become president. Are you still gonna go and be president and let them fuck everyone up?
No.
Then you lost the presidency because they're going to go to the other candidate and that candidate is going to say yes.
It doesn't matter if I lost, though. The only point in which you really lose is when you give up. Right?
No, but
it's just a mindset thing. Okay. It's a mindset thing. Like, from your perspective, well, you lost down the presidency, we're all fucked, right? To me, it's like, okay, well, now this bad guy's in power and now I know this corporation is doing this fucked up shit. Everything is against me and they're going to work their hardest to try to keep me from getting to where I'm trying to be, but that shouldn't stop me from trying to do it. And I think more people share the mindset of like, well, if it's too hard, I'm not going to do it anyways. Which is why we keep getting to these positions.
No, but like if there's a person, like I said, you, and it's the final, it's the day of the election or the day of who's going to be president, right? And Coke offers you that deal, and they're like, sorry, Devin, John is going to be our new president. Where's the change? You lost the presidency, and you lost the opportunity.
So that means I can never be president?
No, you could keep doing but there's always gonna be that bad guy that's gonna go against you. You could try 100 times, but at some point, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do if let's say every company is a bad guy, right? What are you gonna do?
Start my own company.
You could start your own company.
No, it's a loophole.
Wait. You could start your own company, endorse yourself, but your company can't be bigger than blah blah, whatever. Because
that's the thing, though. You start your own company, you become bigger than blah blah. It's the long, hard route, but it's a route.
Okay.
You see what I mean?
Yeah.
The battle only ends when you stop fighting. You only lose when you give up and you stop trying. Right? It's not like, oh, well, this person got the presidency, so now you're fucked. You can't ever apply again.
I think there is like a cutoff at how many times you could try to be president.
I don't think so.
I think there is. Let me double check. How many times can you run to be president? That's the question?
Yeah, I guess that works.
After this, we have to go and bullshit for a minute.
We have to take an ad break after we get off of this.
Yeah. How many times can you run?
Wouldn't it suck if this wasn't recording?
That'd suck. It's not. How many times can a person run for president of the United States? It's not really giving me an answer.
I don't think there is a hard cutoff.
No, it's just it's giving me like so like it's like if you become president you can only serve 2 terms, which is 10 years.
Yeah, I know that. That's the hard rule.
Yeah, but there isn't a.
I don't think there's a limit to how many times you could apply. It's just more how much are you willing to go through it, you know?
How many times can one run for the White House?
Because how many times has Hillary Clinton apply to be president? I think like
once
4,
or twice.
No, it's at like 4 times. She had tried in like the early.
She tried with Obama. She tried with Trump, and then she didn't try with Biden.
I think she had tried once before that, so maybe like 3 times.
No, it's just telling me like, yeah, there's no actual answer. So I guess there probably isn't a limit.
That's my whole point. It's like,
but like, let's say there was a limit, right?
But see, that's devil's advocate right there. Now you're adding in another fucking rule.
Let's say there's a limit,
okay.
and let's say the limit was 3 times.
Okay.
Right. The first time you lost because Coke didn't want to.
I already see where you're going with this. All 3 times you don't get it. What do you do at that point? Help the next person who's trying to. Again, focus on your company and then endorse the person that you want to win.
I guess you're really hard-headed when it comes to this.
It's my whole it's because it reflects my perspective on life, right? And the whole thing is that you only lose when you give up,
Or
right?
when you die.
or when you die. But even then, like depending on what you're trying to fight for, it could still live on after you. You only lose once you give in and you decide to be a loser. It doesn't matter if it's like even a game, right? Like a baseball game. Like, yeah, you lost the game, but then look at it from like a series event. Like, oh, are you going to go to the World Series? Yeah, you lost the World Series. Okay, well, what about next season? Are you going to get to the World Series, right? Like, if you have a goal in mind, you can achieve that goal so long as you fight for it and you truly believe in what you're fighting for and you do everything you can to get there, right? Because at some point it becomes math. At some point your probability just continues to increase.
See, my whole issue with that is I think you lose
when you lose.
No, I think you lose yourself when you focus on your goal too much.
Well, yeah, there's definitely like a healthy balance between it.
No. You said if you want a goal, like if I want that,
there's a healthy balance between it, right? But like, let's use the goal of you becoming a filmmaker, a director, right? If you get your first opportunity and then something happens, you could look at it and be like, oh, well, that was my one shot. I missed it, right?
Right. Or
you could look at it like, no, fuck that. I'm going to keep going. I want to be a filmmaker. Get a second shot. Missed it. Well, nope. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going and keep going until I get it. And by you pursuing that, it doesn't make you, I don't think it's going to absorb you to the point where it's like, that's the only thing you can do or focus on. But you shouldn't never let it go just because of one mishap or one no or one failure or whatever.
No, but my whole thing is someone who's too focused on their goal, someone who has the same mentality as you do, is going to lose themselves along the way. And once they get it, they're just going to be like, oh, I got it. Now what? Go make movies? Cool. I'm finally living my goal.
That's definitely a thing. I mean, it's happened. We hear rappers talk about it, right? Like they want to be a successful rapper, and then once they get to that point, they're like, oh, this isn't what it was cut out to be. And they probably lost parts of themselves. So that's why it's a struggle. I'm not saying that.
So at that point, it's cool. I understand. I like your mindset, but at some point, you just have to stop. You have to, because you're gonna lose yourself, and once you lose yourself, that's when you lose everybody, and you're gonna be like, fuck them. They were never there for me. You're gonna have that pride in you, and like the J. Cole song is, "Pride is the devil."
I think you're just too afraid of pride, because we've talked about it dozens of times on the show. We've gone over like how you believe people should act and everything surrounding pride and being humble, and you truly, truly believe in living humble, virtuous lives, which is great. But there is something to be said about having some pride in your life. It's just the way you approach it and the way you let it control you and the way you maneuver with it, right? And you're looking at it from the perspective of if you start giving in to that goal, then your pride's going to take over and it's going to ruin you. But that's only if you allow it to, because you can definitely chase a goal without letting pride get in the way of that.
But who has there ever been an example of that? Has there
Off
ever?
the top of my head, I can't think of one.
Has there ever been an example of someone who kept failing and failing and failing, and once they got it, they weren't humble? No, because everyone who's failed and failed and failed and finally succeeded becomes an egotistic.
Well, hold on, let me run through my database.
No. Let me just finish my point.
Okay.
Everyone who's failed and failed and failed and finally succeeded it becomes an egomaniac. They become prideful. They become, in their mind, they're the greatest of all time, and nobody can touch them, which is fine. But is that truly how you want to be seen, or do you want to be seen as a loving person who loved everybody and cared about everybody? So that's what I mean. It's cool to chase your dreams, but at some point you have to cut it off, because you're gonna lose everybody and you're just gonna be at the top by yourself. And
But that's just depending on what your dream is.
I know. Yeah, it depends on what it is. But I'm just using my example.
But that's why, like, when it comes to dreaming and chasing those dreams, you have to be mindful of what the dream is, how grand it is, and what it's going to take to achieve it. That's why I've said before, you know, like when it comes to like being famous, it's not cut out for everybody. When it comes to, you know, chasing certain goals, it's not meant for everybody.
Right.
Because that's a very likely scenario. A lot of people let themselves be consumed by pride, and then they lose themselves along the way when it comes to chasing their goal. Also, I'd like to take a moment to add, how the fuck did we get here from talking about the draft?
I don't know, dude.
Also, I think it's just like, it's a personality thing, and it's something that we should talk about more so people can be aware of as they're chasing their goals. Because whether it be, you know, making movies, becoming an actor, being a streamer, opening up a business, becoming a billionaire, becoming a millionaire, you know, taking care of their family for generations, or starting a farm, or whatever the fuck. Like, there's going to be challenges that come with it.
Right.
And to achieve that goal, it's going to require some sacrifice. You just have to acknowledge that up front and know that what's coming with the challenge of chasing your goal.
Well, no, I think there's a lot of people with your mindset who just focus on the goal, but don't focus on what they're going to lose.
The sacrifices of it. Yeah.
Yeah, but because there's people out there with your mindset who are very, how would you describe yourself? Persistent?
Ambitious.
Who are very ambitious and have that pridefulness in them, and they're just gonna have to find out the hard way. And I don't want people to go through that.
But that doesn't mean that they shouldn't do it to begin with.
No. But what I'm saying is, at some point they should just stop. You know what I mean? It depends on what the goal is, sure. But if the goal is too big and too unachievable, just kind of try it, give yourself 7 times, then give up.
But I also believe that people shouldn't limit themselves to a certain amount of times.
Okay.
Because it's not working out. Like, that's why I'm saying you have to understand what's going into it before you chase your goal, before you chase your dream.
Right.
Right? Like, with your dreams of becoming a director, there's a very high probability that once you achieve your dream, that something's going to change about you. You know?
Right.
And it's something that you should acknowledge, but I'm never going to sit here and tell you not to chase your dream because something's going to change about you. If anything, I'm going to do my best as your friend to make sure that you stay who you are and you stay grounded.
Right.
Right? At least at that point in time, because we're both growing and we keep changing as people every day. You know, so it could be that at that point, I don't see anything wrong with it. I'm like, hey, fuck those guys, Eddie. Mm-hmm. You know, let's go to fucking Cabo for the weekend.
It's just a case-by-case basis, I guess.
I like that you're bringing attention to the fact that there are struggles with chasing your goals and trying to get to where you want to be in life. But I don't think that should be a limiting factor. I think people should just acknowledge that, and they should be aware of it, and they should take the time to analyze it themselves. Like, hey, if I'm trying to do this, there's a high probability that this is going to happen. Is that something that I'm willing to go through? Am I willing to lose everybody around me so that I can be successful? Because then at that point, why were you trying to get successful? Probably to take care of the people around you.
Well, no, they should limit themselves, because when you have a limit, that's when the best work could happen. Because look at Logic. He gave himself a year to become a successful rapper, and it was almost up to the date that he signed and made under pressure.
I don't think it was the fact that he limited himself. I think it was the fact that he gave himself a deadline, which made him work harder. Right? And if you're saying, hey, give yourself one real opportunity to do it, and if it doesn't happen, let it go, I can kind of resonate with that. But at the same time, at least in my world, when it comes to writing and books, there are countless examples of people who didn't do that, right? Who didn't succeed in their time frame, and who gave up, or who were on the verge of giving up, and then they found success. I mean, you can look at success stories from across the board, and it's always like that. It doesn't necessarily come when you expect it to come.
Right.
It comes when it's supposed to come. So I don't want people to go, okay, I'm going to limit myself. I'm going to give myself 1 year to become a rapper. And if I don't make it, then I'm going to give up, right? And then if they waited a year and 5 months, they would have became a rapper. But because they gave up, it didn't happen.
No, but so then I don't get it then. So you want people to keep pursuing their goal.
Mm-hmm.
But you also want them to have like a limit upon themselves.
No, I don't want them to have a limit.
Or a balance. A balance.
I want them to have a balance. Like, chase your goal. Don't ever stop chasing your goal, but have a balance with it. Because if your whole personality is just, I'm going to be this, 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 and there's no substance to you, right? And there's nothing else that you do except think or talk about that. Yeah, you're probably going to succeed because you're living and breathing it. But who are you going to be at the end of it?
Like, what? Okay, one person who has had your mindset. Is someone calling you?
No.
Oh,
here it is.
Someone who had your mindset and became humble was Mr. Beast. He's the only one that came to mind because all he talked about and all he slept, all he dreamt, all he thought about was YouTube, and he's now the biggest YouTuber in the world. But the pridefulness didn't get to him.
Yeah, and that's an example of like what you should strive to achieve is like get your goal, don't be consumed by it, right?
Yeah, but I think even Mr. Beast kind of limited himself. I think he told himself the same thing. Hey,
but that's more of a motivator than a limiter. That's more of a, hey, I know I work better with time constraints, right?
Right.
I know that if I only have a day to get this thing done, then I'm going to do everything I can to get that thing done. But
isn't that technically limiting yourself? Because, like, let's say...
I don't think he would have truly gave up on being a YouTuber, you know? Because we'll never know.
Yeah.
But I don't think somebody who was that motivated to do that would have just gone to work a normal job and then never messed around with YouTube again. Because that's not how people work.
Right.
You're not going to be motivated by this one thing your entire life, try to get it, fail, and then completely disregard it for the entire rest of your life. Not even the most spiteful people will do that. There's no way. Like, if you love dancing, you've always loved dancing, you always wanted to be a dancer, you were always in dance classes, you're always surrounded by the culture, and then your opportunity didn't work out, or you put a limit on yourself, it didn't work out, that for the entire rest of your life, you'll never dance again? I don't believe that.
No, but that's like a outlandish scenario. Like, it's a very, 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 very...
Yeah, I just don't think people will give up on their dreams. But if they're hearing that, like, hey, you only have this amount of time to do it, and if you don't give it up, then there's more of a likelihood that people will. Which is why I think saying things like, that's not to bash you, because I've heard a lot of people say this, like, if you don't make it in this amount of time or in this amount of attempts, then you lost, is detrimental. Because if people are like, fuck, then I lost, I'm out, there's no way I can ever do it.
But there's like scenarios and circumstances that played into it. Like, let's say a boxer wanted to be a champion, right? And the boxing gods are like, all right, we'll give you 10 chances. And he lost all those 10 chances. What happens then?
It's up to him.
No, but they're like, we'll give you 10 chances, 10 fighters. And he lost to all of them. He just had to beat one within those 10. And he lost all of them. What happens then?
It's up to him.
I know, but what do you mean it's up to him?
It's up to him. Is he going to give up and not become a boxing champion and live with that for the rest of his life? Or is he going to give it one last real attempt, put everything in it? Maybe he put everything in it, or maybe he thought he put all that he could. But now this is his one and only final chance. What do you think?
No, I mean, like, on pen and paper, you will fight Devin, Eddie, so-and-so, blah, 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 blah. And you cannot, if you do not win these, at least one within these 10, you will never get another opportunity. What happens then?
Go to a different organization.
No, Devin, this is a very, But
you're coming at it from a negative perspective already. You're like, look it, you only get this amount of chances, and that's speaking on your mindset. It's like, you're limited. These are your only chances to do it. I'm looking at it like that's not your limit. I don't care what they say. I don't care what the boxing gods say. I don't care if this is your only 10 chances. They won't give you a shot, start an organization, and you make your own shot. That's what I'm saying. There's always another way to do it.
No, but
we get so stuck in our heads on how to
if
do
it's
it.
set in stone, that was it. The fine print is you can never think about boxing, watch boxing, do a company. What happens then? Does he just kill himself?
I don't know. Like you're giving me the hardest difficulty situation here and expecting me to come up with an answer on the fly. Like, hey, you got 10 chances to do this thing, and if you don't do it, you don't get to think about it, you don't get to write about it, you don't get to fucking look at it, you don't get to be around it.
I'm trying.
But that's how you view everything.
No, I'm trying to get the words out of your mouth. Give up.
I won't say that
because you're too hard-headed when it comes to that.
I won't say it. I'm not gonna tell him to give up. Fuck it, we'll fly him to China and we'll give him another chance over there. What? And then when he becomes the Chinese champion, now he can challenge the United States champion for the world belt. Like, I'm not gonna tell him to not give up. How can I? Because by
it was set in stone.
By telling him to give up, I'm telling myself to give up.
Because if it was set in stone, God, Jesus Christ, he told you, Devin, just say the words give up. Just say it.
No.
So at that point, it's prideful.
No, at that point, it's just...
It's prideful because you're not...
Okay, in a sense, yeah, it's prideful. But that just means I'm not going to let anyone else tell me how to live my life. You know?
Mm-hmm.
If Jesus or God or the universe or our creator or whoever truly gave us free will, then our ultimate most disrespectful thing to whoever created us would be to let somebody else tell us what to do when we have free will. Let somebody else tell us when to stop, when it's supposed to be our decision.
I guess.
So I'll never tell him to not try again, you know? And there's no way I could. I mean, some of my biggest my biggest motivators are historical figures and fictional characters that all follow that mindset.
You know what's crazy? You would have loved John Cena in WWE. His whole he has a hat. It says "Never give up."
Yeah, I know, but that's more of like a corny thing. You know, that's more of like a don't give up ever, like blah blah blah. Like the way they talk about it, I don't know. It just kind of rubs me the wrong way. My thing is like it doesn't matter what it is, you can do it so long as you believe it. I don't care if it's becoming a fucking food critic or the biggest TikToker on the planet,
right?
Opening your own goddamn restaurant, becoming the best painter in your city. You could do it. The only thing stopping you is you.
So, like, if someone wants to be the best pedophile in history,
technically, they could. That's probably one scenario where I would be like,
give up. Don't do it.
Don't do it. I'm not gonna say give up. It's your life. It's your choice. I can't tell you what to do, but
don't do it.
If you're asking me legally wise, like no, probably
legally
not.
wise, more like ethically wise.
Ethically too, don't do it. If you do it, don't expect me to stick around. You know, these are the sacrifices that you're making to chase this goal. Like, but at the end of the day, that's his decision. And I would say, like, I think a big part of the reason why we gravitate to people like that, like fucked up people or people that are considered rebels, even, especially like anti-heroes, like in fiction, is because they live by the mindset of they're going to do whatever they want. And they take it to the extreme, especially when it comes to fiction. They're the fucking guys that will like spit on your shoes as they're walking into the store because they know they can. Right? I'm not saying to do that. I'm not saying to be a piece of shit, but I'm saying if you want to do something, do it. It's your life. You're going to live it the way you want. And you have to realize that every decision that you've ever made is solely on you. I don't care if this person peer pressured you to do it. I don't care if this person influenced you to do it. Everything comes down to you at the end of it. Mm. So I don't care if it's set in stone and Jesus himself came down and said, hey, you're not going to do it. Do it. Because at that point, you could even rationalize like, hey, that's a test from the guy that gave you free will. What are you going to do? So
I'm getting tired of this topic. Let's do an ad break and then let's bullshit for another 30 minutes or something.
Okay.
My head hurts.
We'll be right back after these messages.
I like this episode so far. I like this episode.
This episode is brought to you by our friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a platform that allows you to find and speak with a therapist in a way that fits you and your needs. Whether you have some things that you feel are holding you back, or you just need somebody to talk to, BetterHelp offers you the support system to approach your struggles however you see fit. They have remote therapy sessions that can be done through call, text, or even video conferences. Plus, BetterHelp works with you to find a therapist that fits you. So, if you're interested in taking the first step towards self-improvement and starting therapy, use code MOOMEN to save yourself 10% off at checkout. That's code MOONMEN to save 10% off at checkout. Thank you again to BetterHelp for supporting the show. The whole gang's back together. When are we gonna get our gang back, Eddie?
I don't know. Never.
Our gang just kind of died out, huh?
It
We're the
does.
last two.
You know what? I was thinking about this the other. Are we back?
We're back.
I was thinking about this the other day. I always wanted like a core group of friends, like the ones in the movies. Like, oh, they've been friends since fucking since they were 5, and they've been friends for 40 years.
Am I still in frame?
No, barely.
Like my body?
Yeah, your body by your face.
I mean, it's cool. We could do this for a little bit.
All right.
This is just an accessory, the cameras.
I could move it a little bit more over there.
I mean, no, it's okay. It's cool.
Next episode.
Next episode. I'll sit back up right now. I just need a sec.
That's fine. So your back was hurting?
Not really, but I'm just like, I don't want to keep sitting up like that.
We need another chair. But as I was saying, I always wanted a core group of friends. Like, we grew up together. We did everything together.
We've had that at several points, and they all just keep falling
Yeah,
through.
but I always wanted something like that. I don't know why.
You know what, though? The common denominator?
It's 2.
It's Borkes.
Borkes. You know, it's crazy. At one point in time, I used to call him by his real name.
I can't.
I feel like you did too. You just don't forget.
No, I've always called him Borkes because that's what we called him on the football team.
Yeah.
You know, like it's a military thing, like when people call them by their last name.
Yeah.
No one called me by my last name, but we all called Borkes. And then sometimes to fuck with them, I'd say Daniel. But it just feels weird, like when I'm
Daniel.
when I know what I'm addressing him.
What up, Danny Borges? Oh my lord!
What's up, Danny boy? I bet you like a lot of Dan with your L's. Some stupid shit.
Did you mean you like your Dan's with your B's or something because it's Daniel Borges and
It's a dumb joke. It wasn't supposed to make sense.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, let's Richie the Rat back to the stratosphere.
I miss Borges.
Yeah. Did you see the?
Wait. Are you actually gonna come to the gym with us?
Maybe.
What do you mean maybe?
Wait, which gym?
The gym. I don't know which gym we're going to, but I'm assuming that we'll just get like day passes at my old gym.
Oh,
We'll
okay.
go there.
Maybe. Because like, let's say you're like, Eddie, let's go, and I have to work that day. I don't want to work out and then go to work.
We'll probably plan it so that we could take you. I just don't want you to bail last minute and be like, no.
I probably will.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
No.
I have free will. I could do that.
Yeah, you do, but you shouldn't. Morally,
No, it's
we're
fine.
your friends. Create
So?
memories with us.
So?
We're not going out fucking drinking and partying. We want to take you to go work out. You're like, no.
No. I'm insecure on my body.
Yeah, the whole agreement was that you'd come with us and then we'd watch wrestling with you.
No, the whole agreement is you guys have to do it first, and then I'll go.
Okay, we could do that as a pre-workout. Like, we'll sit there, we'll watch it, we'll get pumped, we'll take some pre.
No,
go to the
each of
gym.
you have to watch a match.
Yeah, we'll watch it, all of us.
In my mind, is you guys go home, smoke a little bit of weed, and then watch the wrestling match.
Why? Why would we do that?
I don't
We
know.
could just watch it here with you and get your reactions too.
Why? I already know the outcome.
So, like, you don't rewatch matches?
Not normally.
But this isn't normally. This is with your friends.
I probably would. There's already one in mine, and the match is like 40 minutes long.
There we go. We could do that.
Okay.
I know.
Oh, sorry.
Fucking freaked me out again.
Sorry.
I know Bork's gonna want to go to the gym with you, so that's what I'm saying. Like, you got to come with us.
I've been losing weight.
I know you told me. I'm happy for you.
I'm at 227.
Hey, there you go. What were you before? It was.
Well, when I started the calorie deficit, I was at 244.
Oh shit!
And I lost it like nothing. I don't know what the fuck happened.
It's the calorie deficit.
I haven't been doing it though.
It's fucking goated though. You just don't eat. That's basically it. Or you eat less.
No, I've been eating a lot less. There's like a good month where I just ate like maybe once or twice a day.
Good for you. I'm happy for you.
You said you're like kind of like.
Well, because it always sounds fake when people say good for you, but I mean it. I'm happy for you. And you know I am.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad that you're taking these steps to improve your life.
I all I need is to work out, and I think I'll.
Well, like I always tell people whenever they're like, give me a workout plan, I always say, diet for a month. Get used to your diet, right? And when I say diet, I mean just calorie deficit. Maybe you cut out sugar, particularly for you, right? Not you, I'm just saying for the person. Maybe you cut out sugar. Maybe you cut out carbs. It doesn't matter. Calorie deficit. Get used to that. Then once you start to lose weight, you're able to move your body a little bit better. You're used to the dieting. Then you incorporate the working out. And then you start slow. I always say strength training, resistance training, you know? Like,
why don't you be a nutritionist or like a personal trainer?
I thought about it, but to get the licensing for it, you have to go to school.
So?
You could do it online, but I'd have to like take an 8-week course, pay like $1,500, and then the entire thing is based off of clients.
Oh, okay.
So like you don't get to go work for a company. You need that license to work at certain gyms. But then I would need to build up a clientele. Like, okay, I'm going with George on Tuesday, and then I'm going with Matthew on Friday, and then I'm going with this person on Wednesday, right? And then you have to come up with your own fees, and then you have to do like your taxes based off of it. And it's very, very, very much a headache. I'd rather just give people advice and then give them workout plans.
So you do it for free?
Kind of, yeah.
Good man.
I mean, I thought about creating a beginner's workout plan and then diet and then just selling it as like a one package thing. What? Like, hey, pay me $30. I'll give you this. This is everything you need to know about working out. You never need to grab anything else ever again. Boom, there you go.
How about an app?
Fuck no, I'm not going to design an app. Why? I fucked around with that before, and that shit is complicated. God, the amount of coding that goes into it and troubleshooting and bug fixing, and let's say I want to change the way the whole app works and functions.
Most likely what happened with you.
Like 4 months
we've had 3 different covers.
Yeah, but we had to change the first one, and the second one just kind of felt like
it felt flat. This is our best one.
It's our best one, and we'll probably have it for like 2-3 years, and then I'll change it again. I figure we'll keep it for the long haul though.
Yeah,
I like it. If anything, I'll just do touches to it, just make it look a little better in smaller ways. You know, add an extra star here, put a little more blue right here. Let's add some dots right there. Make it pop.
Did you know that the FDA doesn't have any regulations on roller coasters?
Why the hell would they?
Because they have regulations for everything.
It's the Food and Drug Administration.
Not the FDA, but someone. No, they also deal with some other stuff.
No, it's all like consumables.
Then who deals with like the buildings and shit? I
don't know.
Doesn't the FDA or
no? That's a different company.
Oh, then they kind of could design roller coasters however they want.
Yeah, but I think that's in the nature of designing roller coasters.
No, but I don't they have to have like a certain.
I think there's strict regulations in getting it approved and then constructed, and then they have to do like lots and lots of tests before they're allowed to like preview it.
Right.
But you can kind of design it however you want, as long as it doesn't kill people.
Well, it kills people, and they just kind of keep going.
Well, no, people die on roller coasters all the time.
Because
people die everywhere. People die in grocery stores. Are we gonna fucking cancel grocery stores?
That's true. But well, no, there's
and a lot of it has to do with user error, whether it be somebody doing what they're not supposed to be doing, taking out their seatbelt, or something like that. And then the other half is like wear and tear and no proper maintenance on the machines. But I think 90% of accidents come from user error, whether it be the employee or the people involved. And then 10% falls to maintenance, manufacturer.
Well, didn't they close down that Haunted Terror from Disneyland, the one that just drops?
Oh, the Tower of Terror.
Or because someone
Rest in
died?
peace.
Or no?
No.
Because
they just rebranded it.
Because there was wasn't there a death at Disneyland recently, and they closed that ride down?
I didn't hear about that, but I got to experience the Tower of Terror before they switched it, but it's still there. It's just branded as the Guardians of the Galaxy, whatever.
Oh, okay.
It's still there. The ride's still operational, but even when a ride kills somebody, like they keep it in operation. And then they try to figure out the source, you know. If it's an ongoing thing, like 4 people died, then they shut the ride down.
Oh.
But like people have died on the slingshot and you just got on it recently.
That's true.
You know, they don't just close it down for the one time. They're like, bad roller coaster. You get one more chance. Maybe 2. You have a very rich parent.
I was listening to a podcast, and the roller coaster was fine and everything, and there was a little boy who was like 4'11", and to get on the ride was 4'9", and he had to be sat with 2 other people that combined their weights of like 400 pounds, and they exceeded that, but somehow he still died.
How did he die?
I guess there was this bar that, like, I don't know what kind of ride it was, but there was this bar that was hanging too low, and it was designed that way, and he fucking died. He got his head decapitated, I think.
That doesn't make any sense.
You have to listen to the story.
I am willing to bet, if anything, the kid was probably doing something that he shouldn't have, which sounds fucked up because the kid died, but they keep those kinds of things in mind because, like, what happens if, like, a 6'5" person wants to get on the ride? Sorry, we got this one bar, kind of takes your head off. Can't get on that, partner. You know?
So
they design it with accessibility in mind. And so there's no way he was going to get to that level of clearance unless he was doing something he wasn't supposed to, like keeping your hands and legs inside the vehicle at all times.
Right. I don't know. I'm just going based off the fucking podcast story I heard, and I thought it was interesting.
It's not interesting.
It is
The kid's
very
dead,
interesting.
and
No, it's not.
He's dead.
You know what is interesting?
As somebody who's ridden dozens of coasters at this point, you're not going to get an accident unless you go looking for one. Like on Splash Mountain, one of Disney's most popular rides, you don't get seatbelts. Do you know that?
Well, yeah. Also, the ride over here at the Pima County Fair. Do you know that one ride where there's no seatbelts?
No.
The log ride.
Oh yeah, it's a log ride. You don't get seatbelts for it, right?
Yeah.
Which makes it so much more scary when you're fucking dropping down like 45 feet. You're free falling,
right?
Because you can't help but scream because you feel like you're gonna lift up out of your seat and die. But like my second time ever getting on that ride, I think I've been on it like 30 times at this point. But my second time ever getting on it, fucking there was a group of teenage boys in the log next to us, and they were all standing up and trying to get out of the ride. And Disney employees quickly came and shut it down and told them, like, if you keep it up, like, we're gonna escort you out of the park. You know? But like, let's just say one of them got up, stood up, slipped on the water from the log, fell, hit their head. 10 years later, it's on a podcast like, yeah, their combined weight, they shouldn't have that. That shouldn't have happened.
I don't know. I thought it was an interesting topic, but I guess I'm gonna start bringing up topics.
It just doesn't make any sense.
No, speaking about rides, have you seen that most recent video? I think they're at Rocky Point, and they had like a G-force type ride that like spins you like upside down like that, and the fucking ride stopped when everyone was upside down, and they were upside down for like 30 minutes.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
That's a manufacturer right there.
Yeah.
Malfunction.
Yeah, they were they're sitting down but upside down.
Ah, the headache.
And
you can't even drop down.
They're stuck there. Yeah, they were like fucking high.
Well, yeah, first off, the machine clicks into place so you can't get out of your seat. But let's just say you maneuvered it, right? You're fucking Hulk, you pushed it up.
Where are you gonna go?
You're gonna drop down 40 fucking feet to the floor, like you're kind of stuck.
I know you're.
And then, like, let's say you wanted to pull out your phone, get on TikTok, and you drop your fucking phone.
You're just stuck there.
God.
Imagine being one of those people.
Oh, that's terrible. Then nobody died though, right?
No, everyone came out fine. It's just
Mild concussions.
A bunch of people got like bloodshot eyes and.
Well, yeah, fucking the blood's rushing to their head.
Yeah.
Come out with a fucking facial tick afterwards. You could legitimately fuck up your entire brain by doing that. They should sue the company.
I think they are.
Because, like, you can get severe brain damage from something like that.
Yeah,
like, you could come off of it and be like, you know? And you didn't do that before. So, like, they should definitely be sued.
Oh, that's...
You start screaming obscenities in the middle of sentences against your will.
Because you have, what's it called? Tourette? You have Tourette's now?
You have Tourette's now. Because the ride decided to stop. Started saying so out loud this shit. Like, yesterday I went to the park and then I killed a guy! Like fucking, what is his name? Tweaks?
Tweaks, yeah.
Fucking Tweaks.
But I wonder...
I'm gonna have to bleep that shit out.
Yeah. But I wonder... why the fire department didn't... I don't know what took him so long.
Well, again, the ride locks, so it's like... So you can't push it.
Oh, okay.
You can't push off the seatbelt.
That makes sense.
So the fire department's up there like, can you undo your seatbelt? It's like, no, jackass, I would have thought of that 40 minutes ago.
Oh.
I would have climbed my way down, you know? There's nothing they could really do until they got it working. But at that point, like, why didn't they just loosen one of the bolts and just kind of let it... swing back into place?
Well, no, it was... I don't even want to look for it. Because,
no, don't look for it. We'll be here all fucking day with the way you search. I think this is it.
Well,
no, that's not it. That's not it. Wait, is it it?
It's like a G-Force type ride. That's all I know. And they put you upside down.
There's this ride in Six Flags that I would love to go on with you.
What is it?
It's not the Goliath, because I'm never going back on that. Or the Colossus.
I'll go on that if you go on there.
No, give me a real shake, bastard.
All right. Now good luck gave me.
Do you know how cheap it is to get into Six Flags, Eddie?
Do you know?
It's like $60 a person.
Yeah, but do you know how hard it is to get me out of the house?
I don't mind. It doesn't matter.
Like I said, last 2 weeks ago, it was
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, took the whole fucking Avengers to take me out, and look where the Avengers are. They're all dead now.
All I gotta do is, fake a Make-A-Wish Foundation thing. Like, Eddie, this is my last wish. I just want to go on this ride with you. The doctor said I'll probably die. But
you know I'm a piece of shit. I'm like, sorry, Devin. My morals.
You're immortal, so you'll be fine.
So?
Anyways, there's a ride that I want to go on with you where, I believe it goes back. Okay, yes, it goes backwards. I'm trying to remember. So, the entire gimmick is that the seats for the ride rotate as you're going through the ride. So, if you take a turn and it goes up really sharp, your seat's going to rotate like this when you get at the top. It's connected to the machine, but it's going to rotate, right? So you feel it as you're in the seat. So you never feel secure or safe. So when you start plummeting down, your seat's spinning too and you feel like you're free falling. So it's called the X2. It's in Six Flags.
Where is Six Flags?
Magic Mountain.
Where's Magic Mountain?
I think it's in San Diego.
Oh, okay.
Or Los Angeles. It's pretty cheap to get in. Anyways, that's the entire gimmick of it, right? And the ride goes backwards throughout the entire thing. And if you look at it, it's all like wavy like this, and then it goes up, and then it drops down, and I think it does a loop-de-loop at one point, or 2 loop-de-loops. It's pretty fucking crazy, right? Like, it's one of the most extreme rides they have. I would love to go on that with you, because I shit bricks on that fucking ride.
Have you gone on there?
I got on it. Got on it twice. But when I got off of it, I was on fucking cloud 9. The adrenaline rush you get from these coasters is addicting. Like, once I get on that first coaster, no other coaster can stop me, right? I'll get on all of them. I'll be freaked out, but I'll get on all of them except the Goliath, Colossus, whatever the fuck it's called.
Why?
Fuck that ride, bro. Say
the story one more time.
So, at Six Flags, there's a ride. It's called the Goliath or the Colossus. Let me double check. I should double check before I start swearing on my enemies here.
Take your time.
Hey, when I look for shit, I find it.
I'm saying I couldn't find it.
Okay, it's called the Goliath, and apparently. Oh, okay, no, never mind. I thought it was closed, but the park is closed. It opens at 10 a.m. on Friday.
Damn, what time is it right now? Oh, well, it's in California, huh?
Oh, it opens at 10:30 a.m. every day, and it's open until 8 on Sunday and 8 on Saturday, but only open till 6 on Friday. They need to change that. It's called the Goliath. So, the box where the fucking coaster takes off is like 30 feet up in the air, right? So, you're waiting in line, long ass line to get there, and the entire time you're underneath the coaster, so you hear it going by, and people screaming, ah! And you can feel the ground shake, and it's getting you a little nervous, right? And I was like, you know what? Cool. It's whatever. It's a fun coaster. It sounds cool. And then I noticed, hey, wait a minute. Those are stairs. Why are there stairs here? What's going on? And then I looked up and I saw the box where it takes off. And I was like, that's pretty high up. Am I going to have to wait in line on the stairs? Oh, okay, I am. So we start climbing up the stairs. And it's fucked up the way they do this for people that have a fear of heights, because you get up, you get to stair 5, and now you're waiting until the line moves again. Oh, okay, this is a good height. I can deal with this. Step up 6 more steps. Oh, okay, I'm not on a landing. I'm on a middle stair here. This doesn't feel safe. Coaster comes by.
Everything shakes. You
Everything
grab onto
shakes.
the rail.
I'm grabbing onto the rail. The whole platform's shaking. People are screaming, ah! I'm like, okay, we're a little bit higher. My hands are sweaty. But don't worry, I'll be cool. Makes it worse is my dad would grab me by my shoulders and shake me. Are you good? Are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, leave me alone. Pushes me next to the rail. Look how far we are. Get off of me. I'm throwing hands. He doesn't care. 6 more steps. Oh, now we're even higher. And now we get to see off of the ledge. Wow, look at that. Everybody looks like ants. We're not even all the way up yet. That's dangerous. Whole platform shaking. Oh God, this is actually starting to get scary. I don't really know if I want to go on this ride. Then as we get up further and further, I'm shaking. My hands are sweating. I'm sweating talking about this. And then I see the one thing I did not want to see, a drop. Not only that, a drop followed by like a 30-foot incline. So we're 30 feet up in the air. There's a 30-foot incline. Now we're 60 feet up in the air when you get to the top of that, right? We're going to drop down all the way to the ground. We're free falling for about 8 seconds, you're telling me, right? I counted it out when they fucking fell. I was like, 1, 2. Oh no, that's really long. That's a drop right there. I was like, okay, whatever. Fuck this ride. I start trying to leave. My dad grabs me. You're not going anywhere. You're getting on the fucking ride. Okay, cool. Hands shaking. Get up a little bit higher. Roller coaster keeps coming. Then finally, we get to it, right? So, when you get to the roller coaster lines, usually they have these like numbers, 1 through like 10, right? And then the numbers are divided by the cars. So it's like there's 5 cars. And it can fit 10 rows of people. Every row has 2 people.
Oh, okay.
So then, like, if you're number 1, you're in the first car in the first row. If you're number 5, you're in the third car, first row. Shit like that, right? We were in car number 1, and we were seat number 2 and 3.
You and your
second
dad?
and third row, right? Yeah. And my dad sat behind us with a random stranger. I sat in the front next to my sister. I was like, oh God, this is gonna be bad, right? Because I'm 30 feet up in the air already. I look up at the incline. I have to crane my neck to see the top of it.
Oh, I see it.
And it's up there. It looks so far away. And then I'm like, oh no. And then I look down.
Are you the first car?
We're the first car, but we're like the second row.
Oh,
I look down and I see the ground, and then I can feel the elevation, and I'm like, oh God. And then I close my eyes like this, right? Because I'm like, I don't want to see it. I'm clenching up. I'm all fucking tight. And then what do I feel? My dad's clammy ass hands behind me, grabbing my arms, fucking shaking me. And I'm fighting him off. And I'm all, stop it. And then in the struggle, I peek out and I see how high we are. And I'm shaking. I'm holding on to these metal bars and it doesn't feel secure. So I'm doing this. I'm clapping my whole body together. And it gets really quiet for about 2 seconds. And then I peek out I'm like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Clench even tighter, and then whoosh, you fall, and it feels like you're dying. My stomach fucking launched into my head, and then when we hit the ground, we instantly turned, and so I boom, hit the ground again, and vroom, we're going. And then at that point, it's a fun coaster. But the whole climbing up to the top, pausing so that everybody that has a fear of heights can look around and notice how high in the sky they are. There's a fucking bird next to us. And then feel the fear of falling down. Fuck that. It's like going on a drop, right? But taking the slow way up. You have to climb halfway up there, and then it slowly takes you up all the way to the top, and then it makes you wait up there at the top. And it's quiet up there, Eddie. It's so quiet, it's haunting. And you look out and you see the floor beneath you, you see all the fucking ants, and you're like, all those ants have lives and jobs, and it doesn't even matter right now because I'm about to die. And then wow, you go down, and you fucking just feel them. You feel so primal at that point when you're falling and you're this close to death. That's what gives you the adrenaline rush. Did you know that? The reason you get adrenaline rushes from rides is because it's your brain and your body telling you you're about to die, and it pumps you full of adrenaline. So by them recreating the feeling of falling, it's telling your brain, you're falling, you're about to die, be prepared. I hope you lived a good life. And I didn't. At that point, I didn't live a good life. All I had was, I was like 16. All I had was rejections and fucking heartbreak to look back on. A past full of trauma. And I just fucking felt it going all the way down, man. And then by the time we got off the coaster, I was shaking, but I was amped. And nothing could touch me. I could have walked up to Megan Fox that day and asked her for her number. Right afterwards. You feel like you're on top of the world. But to get to that feeling is a risk that I'm not willing to take again, man. I'm not doing it. I'd rather get on the X2 2 times back to back, fucking handcuffed or some shit, than go back on that fucking thing. Oh my God, no. Do you want to see a picture of it? I have it loaded up right here. Look at.
Oh shit.
Yep, that's the drop.
High.
That's the fucking drop. That is the motherfucking drop.
So where are the stairs? Like right here?
No, here it is.
Devin, that was your best storytelling.
It's just the sound effects.
Fine, be modest, bitch.
Thank you. So right here where this part is, you can't really see it. Oh, look it, and they have a big ass sign that says Goliath because they know it's a scary ass ride. Where this part ends right here, there's like a little booth right there, and it's, I don't want to exaggerate and say it's 30 feet, but it's like at least 20 feet in the sky. Don't type in P, V, D, or T. Oh, you know what I could do? I could put on the POV for you.
Oh, that would be sick. I am so hyped.
Okay, but we're going to have to end it because I don't want to play the whole fucking thing.
Oh, no, then show me at the end. Listen.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if we have to talk about anything.
Yeah, we could end it. We've been going for almost 2 hours.
Yeah, but I wanted to bullshit after that political episode.
See, look at, that's what the fucking front looks like right there. Look at what you have to hold on to. Fuck no, right? Oh, okay, cut. I'll just show you right now. I'll put it up on the big screen so we can feel it together.
All right.
And then when you're in your chair, do the motion. Get into it a little bit, Yeah, role play a little bit. Fuck no, man. Fuck no. You know that feeling when you're in an elevator and you can feel it going up?
Yeah.
Imagine that for about 20 seconds. And then feeling the wind in your hair and feeling some random fucking guy grab you and shake your fucking hands when you don't want to be up that high. Thank you, everybody, for listening to this episode of the Movement Podcast. As I said earlier, I'm your host, Devin. That's your co-host, Eddie. I really hope you enjoyed Story Time with Devin. Thank you for listening this far. I really love and appreciate you, and we'll see you guys all next week. We'll have you guys coming soon. Bye.